I think I'm noticing the depth that's involved with erotic love or romantic love. I hate to say that word.
I don't like that word.
I don't like it either. It is. It's like saying moist. Oh, I should turn on my light back there.
Yeah.
This one.
Go do that. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the channel.
Our channel.
To the channel.
Bibis.
I know, and then they're downstairs.
I'm getting them.
You like the tiny hands.
They kind of creep me out. I've actually never used them.
You've never used them?
No.
You haven't used them secretly?
I was trying to cheer you up.
You promise you haven't used them secretly? You've never.
I think I showed Jasmine once.
Can I tell you something weird once? One time I put them on my toes. If you notice me a little, is the word lethargic? What does lethargic mean? Affected by lethargy, whatever that means. Sluggish or apathetic. Yeah, so I feel tired and a little lethargic. Still excited to talk about this topic because it's very personal to me and her, but more so me. Because I was the one who, if you clicked on the video, you probably, you love to know about the whole friend zone ordeal, or maybe you're in one, or maybe you've put someone in one. Who knows?
Before we jump into it, can we give our friends a couple of fun announcements?
Baby, you give them the updates. Oh, hold on. The thing I was going to say is, I'm going to let her run this video. And I'm going to interject where I feel like, oh, this is a good chance to say something. So you do everything, and then I'm going to...
I thought you said you were more passionate. It's more your story.
I'm very passionate, but because I'm feeling tired and lethargic, it would be great if you kind of were the engine, babe. The engine that like moved the video forward.
I'll be your helpmate.
And then you just give it structure. You know what I mean?
Okay. First, just a couple happy announcements. Number one. Our website is officially live.
In Christ.
So we'll give you a little link below where you've been doing a lot of fun stuff behind the scenes. And I feel like that's why it's been hard for us to get out as much content as we want to get to you guys, because of the home build and being on phone calls and building this website and just all the things that go
several more things
behind the scene. And I wish you guys could see it. Maybe we should do a video of like behind the scenes. Anyway, so that website is up. If you want to subscribe to our email list, we're going to be sending out a couple fun little things to our email subscribers, some encouragements, some secrets, some things.
Yeah, some things. If you all follow 21 Pilots at all, which I think a few of you do, because you saw our last video where I was wearing my Level of Concern shirt, which is a 21 Pilots song. They're really big on Easter eggs, and so am I. So,
little Easter egg hunt. Let's jump into the actual topic of the video. The friend zone.
Oh, those were the days. Those said no one
were
ever.
Not the days.
Or were they? That's what we want to talk to you guys about today. Is there's such a negative connotation put on the friend zone, and if I were to just use a quick example, I was like, oh, that guy got friend zoned, or oh, she put you in the friend zone, or whatever. And I feel like there's such like a bad rap on that, and I just want to clear up some confusion that you may be feeling about that. Because I feel like, first off, it can humiliate someone to put them in a friend zone, like, because they feel like they feel rejected. And that's not to say you need to date everybody. You can totally put whoever you want in the friend zone, but whoever's on the receiving end, I don't think you need to receive that as a negative, as a hard rejection, a hard no, and all that. Because, well, number one, and by the way, I have no bullet points. I'm just rambling, so. Hang in there.
It's just what's on our heart, guys.
So number one is, if that person doesn't want to be with you, why would you want to be with them?
You don't.
And I'm not trying to be mean and trying to hate on that person for rejecting you. But the thing is ultimately relationships take a lot of work, and it can't be 150 or 75-25. Like, it has to be 100-100. You both have to be committed. You both have to be involved and intentional and in it and signed up. Yeah. And so ultimately, if someone does put you there, as much as you want to romantically pursue them, honestly, you don't. Because why would you ever want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? That's number one. Number two, what's number two, babies?
Are you going to explain to them the fact that that's not always the case because you were in the friend zone and that didn't quite mean that we didn't end up together?
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to talk more about how it's not to bash the other person either, because I'm not going out there and saying, oh, it's her loss, like, you know, she doesn't deserve me. It wasn't like that at all. I still wanted to be her friend. I still admired her as a person, and so that I think my response to her wanting to just be friends and her primary response to just wanting to be friends really set the tone for a relationship, because we said, oh, I would value being in your life more than I would value, I would value being in your life at all more than I would value only being romantically involved with you. And that says a lot about how you care about the person, because ultimately, if you're going to be with this person, Lord willing, for 60, 70 years, you know, and you're with them for hopefully even longer, that person, they're your best friend. You spend every day with them, give or take, you know. But yeah, and so it's kind of like, it's nice to know that when the second time that, I feel so awkward saying it, the second time that she put me in the friend zone, she said to me on the phone, she was like, Chad, like, I'm okay just being your friend.
And it wasn't because I didn't want to be with him. That was not why.
So it wasn't, that wasn't the reason why, but still, like, the outcome was still the same, where I wanted a romantic relationship and she said no, and she said, but I'm okay just being your friend. And to me, that spoke volumes, because I'm just like, wow, like, someone is okay just to be in my life and doesn't need it to be anything more.
I think there's a couple things to, like, touch on from that. I think number one, like what we're saying is the friend zone isn't always a bad thing. And from my point of view, the first time that I friend zoned Chad is because I was not emotionally ready to be in a relationship. It had nothing to do with, like, necessarily wanting to be with him or not as a person. It had everything to do with my life was falling apart and I couldn't handle, like, walking into a new romantic relationship at that point. And then the second time, I was like, you're not ready to walk into a romantic relationship.
He wasn't ready.
And so I think that it's not always so black and white of, like, if you got friend zone, that person doesn't want to be with you. And so I also was reading, like, right before we turned on, I remember that second time that I had friends, right before I had friend zoned Chad for the second time, the Lord was really pushing me to read Song of Songs, and particularly Song of Songs 8:4, where it says, promise me, O woman of Jerusalem, not to awaken love until the time is right. And that's like a mandate from God, like, don't awaken love until it's ready. And then I was reading this, and I want to read it to you guys. You know, I love the Thrive Bible, and for those of you out there, there's a new one coming in November, because I know that so many of you have messaged me that they're sold out, and so more coming soon. Okay, so this says, love originates with God. Song of Songs 8:6 says, place me like a seal over your heart, like a seal on your arm, for love is as strong as death. Its jealousy as enduring as the grave. Love flashes like fire, the brightest kind of flame. Love letter from God. Beloved daughter, I am the God of love. I created love. I put love in your heart. I love you deeply and passionately. When you know the depth of my love for you, it will protect you from being desperate for a counterfeit love. I know that you have a desire to love and be loved. But no matter how good your true love is to you, he will never be able to satisfy your deepest longings the way that I do.
Amen.
Be careful that when you give your heart to another, you don't take it away from me. I want to remain the first love in your life. Then you'll be able to give and receive love in the way that I designed. Love your Heavenly Father. Reflection. God's love for us is deep and strong. Just as in a marriage relationship where the man and woman form a deep emotional bond that protects their relationship from chaos in the world around them, God's love protects us. When love is torn apart, it feels like death. When love is lived out God's way, it brings life. And the Treasure of Truth says, your heart's desire to be loved originates from the one who created you to love. So anyways, what I was getting out of that, a lot of it was, I think that we did another video on like heartbreak, and the reason why that I don't necessarily think was God's original plan for us to like experience that type of heartbreak. I think God created us to love and to be loved. And I think when we're not getting that love from God, we're not running to the source of love, and then we're desperate for love from other people, then we can be so heartbroken when someone's not loving us the way that we desire. But if we're filled to the brim, like I remember that second time that Chad and I went through that whole like, maybe we're gonna date, oh wait, no we're not. And it was crazy to me, the peace that God had brought to my life in that season, because I had already thought like, dang, I could definitely marry this man. And then God was like, it's not the right time. And I was so scared to let it go, because I was just like, but I think he could be it for me. Like, I think this is the guy. And God's like, he's not the guy right now. And it was hard for me. But then I just had this overwhelming peace that God's hand was on it. And I was shocked that I was okay. But it was because God was providing me and filling that void and that hole in me. And then when we finally did get together, I feel like our love and relationship blossomed so much because I wasn't needing him to fill a hole that he could never fill. He was complementing that love that I was already experiencing from God.
Yeah. As you were sharing that, it made me just so thankful for how God did it. I don't know if I should look at you or look at the camera. I'm like, I've been doing this for 1.5 years now, and I'm like, I'm just hearing you talk about it. I'm just thinking of how thankful I am for the way God laid it out, because, you know, and by the way, I'm not a PhD on love, okay? So take this with a grain of salt. But as far as I'm aware, I believe that there's like 4 different types of love, and I know 3 of them. I'm forgetting the 4th, so hang in there. The first one is agape, which is like unconditional love. Love that you would do with no expectation. There's no reciprocity. There's just like, hey, I'm just gonna do that. You know, I'm just gonna bless that person. I'm gonna love on that person, and there's no strings attached. Then there's a second type of love, which is called phileo, and it's like friendship love, which is like kind of like, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. It's I'm not gonna say it's like a contract, but it's like agreement. Like, hey, we're coming into love together, and we're gonna keep each other accountable. We're gonna do things together. We're gonna pick each other up whenever they're down. We're gonna celebrate our victories. We're gonna do this life together. And then there's a third type of love, which is called eros or whatever it is, which is from, I think the root word is erotic. And what that basically is, like a romantic type of love, okay? And I think what most people get wrong about marriage is that the order should go eros, phileo, agape. And there's a 4th one, like I said, I can't remember what it is. I feel like most people get it backwards, where they think marriage is eros, which is like kind of romantic love, then friendship love, then unconditional love. But now that I'm looking at the story that God wrote for us, I'm just very thankful, because it started off with unconditional love, because we were like distant friends, you know, and we could choose to be like that. And then whenever you actually friend zone me, it became a thing where it's like, okay, this is like phileo love. This is like actual friendship where we're going to commit to keeping in touch with each other. We're going to commit to having that type of relationship. And then, of course, once we got married or in a relationship, the romantic love grew. And I feel like it grew at a healthy pace, because I think I'm noticing the depth that's involved with erotic love or romantic love. I hate to say that word.
I don't like that word.
I don't like it either. It is. It's like saying moist. I was just hearing talk about that, and I was just really thankful that I feel like the love grew, even though we tried to mess it up. I feel like it grew at like a healthy pace, because I'm sure, I mean, I've been in relationships, I know she has, and maybe you have too, where certain types of love grow faster than others, and then it's like there's kind of, I don't want to say there's no turning back, but it can be hard, because I feel like your relationship is moving faster than, like, it's almost just like, you know, you just passed a driving test and then you're going to drive 90 miles per hour on the interstate. Yes, you can do that. I don't recommend it.
Breaking the speed limit.
But you're breaking the speed limit, and you're going too fast, and you may not be ready for that. And so
might crash.
Yeah, there's really good reasons to healthy boundaries. Yeah, and so Tori and I can talk about what some of those boundaries could look like. Either you're friends and you're kind of interested, but you're not sure, or like one person's interested, the other person isn't. We can talk about healthy boundaries to staying in touch with that person. It's like that famous book I'm writing, How to Get Out of the Friend Zone, a success story. Chapter 2 is stay in touch, but not physically. I think we can really touch on some of those boundaries, and then also kind of lead into maybe a boundaries in dating, and do that. What was my hand doing? So I don't know if this helps anyone at all. I don't know if it calms someone down or gives them hope or whatever, but of course I'm on the other side of it, which is where the girl I wanted to be with, we actually ended up together, and I know it's not the case for everybody. So I don't want to be insensitive to people that's like, oh, well, that happened for you. Don't forget, it took me 4.5 years or something like that. And I mean, and I still liked her, you know what I mean? Like, we were just friends, but that doesn't mean that I didn't look at her and think that she's a dime piece, you know what I'm saying? So, what was the moral of the story, babe? How can we package this up in like a good little bink?
I feel like the moral of the story is to not lose hope. Whether you're in the friend zone currently, or maybe you just friend someone or friend zone someone because you're not ready or things are complicated in your life, to never lose hope that whether or not that person that you're thinking of right now when I'm saying it is the one or not, like, God's love should be filling that void in your heart, and he has a love that's going to ultimately fulfill you, and then he's going to bring someone in that's going to compliment you and love you well. And so it is worth the wait, my ladies. Just saying.
And guys.
I was going to say my ladies, your guys.
My lads. Her ladies, my lads. I'm gonna call the boys the lads. What up, my lads? Yeah, and I think just in a practical sense, I just want to reiterate that there's, oh, baby, I thought you were giving me a microphone. I thought you were legit giving me a microphone. I'm not even kidding. You were literally the best person in Polk County. Literally?
Just a little encouragement is to make sure that you're not giving your heart away too soon, and that it is the right timing. I am kind of like Chad said, looking back and thinking of our story and how it all unfolded. I'm so glad that it unfolded in the timing that it did, and who we were in that time, if that makes sense. Because I don't feel like if our relationship would have started back in the day, I don't think I would have been in a healthy place for our relationship to flourish. And so
me either.
Looking
I mean,
back,
not with her. Like, I wouldn't be in a good, whatever.
Timing is everything, and just be willing to wait on God.
Yes. So check out our website. It's linked below. If you're wondering where the drawing is of Tori because we hit 28 likes, that'll be on the next video. So be excited about that. I'm excited to draw you like one of a French girls. I was gonna say one of my French girls, but Titanic reference.
Are you have to draw me? Or do I get to pie you in the face?
No, baby, we're not doing that. Why would you want to do that to me? All the stress I've been dealing with?
Okay, we love you guys. We're going to see you in the next video. Boundaries and dating coming soon. Stay tuned. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Ding! And subscribe.
Mwah, mwah. Love you.
Guys.
All right, gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello to everybody watching. I would just like to say that I'm really grateful to be one of Tori and Chad's young and little friends, and that they really inspire me and encourage me to be a better person. Their lives and their videos are so beautiful because they speak about the Lord, and that's just amazing. Their love for Jesus is beautiful. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Bye. I hope you enjoyed.